Greetings, Cannabis Friends. Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. How you doing today, Megan?
I'm doing great, Al. Today we have 7 more amazing questions from the community for you.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm going through them right now, and I did want to just make a note for anyone that's watching that wants to ask Al questions directly. This is your opportunity. If you have those questions, please comment below or contact us on the website. Al is really doing a great job of making sure that everyone has a voice, and I'm excited because everyone's questions are so good and everyone's so educated. But remember, you don't have to have the best questions. Like there's expert to beginner level. There's no question that is stupid. So, are you ready, Al?
Yes, for sure. Let's go.
Okay. All right, let's do it. All right. The first question is from Stan, who lives in Gardena, California, and he is a new client. Stan is asking, and he's asking 3 questions. First question is, does FECO kill cancer?
Okay, so does FECO kill cancer? That's a really good question. And there's a lot of like chatter around the internet the past couple of years where they say that THC kills the cancer and that CBD like stops the growth of the tumors or the spread of the cancer, and it's sort of like just like compartmentalizes it, and then the THC on the back end kills it, and that's how you get better. And that to me, it just sort of I saw it pop up on the internet, and I don't think that's really the case, where it just attacks it like that. I've seen in a couple of like studies where they actually said that THC that does have the capability of killing cancer cells, but a lot of those clinical studies are incorrect a lot of times, and I just don't believe it. What I know to be true is that cannabinoids, are an essential nutrient for humans and animals that have a spine. Any mammal that has a spine has a cannabinoid system that needs to be fed with cannabinoids in order for it to operate at the most optimal levels, and that means being able to fight off things like cancer and other diseases. We're always bombarded with things that can cause those diseases, but our immune system and other systems in our bodies should be able to fight them off. But we don't have the proper nutrition inside of us, meaning we don't have the cannabinoids inside of us to be able to do that. So the CBD and the THC, they will both greatly increase your level of your immune system. Basically, they'll strengthen it and enable your body to fight off whatever's going on inside of it. So it's not just a cancer thing, it's for every kind of condition. That's why the cannabinoids they help so many different conditions. Like, well, how does it help all these different things? And what I always say is that people don't suffer from these different diseases. They have a cannabinoid deficiency. And once you feed the body with cannabinoids, those deficiencies and those diseases, they magically disappear. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you. The next question from Stan is, how much FECO do I have to take to battle my cancer?
Okay, so the general Rick Simpson protocol is 60 grams. Okay, and you work up to the gram a day, and it takes about anywhere from 5 to 15 grams or so to work up to that gram a day. And then you with the Rick Simpson protocol, you'd have 45 days of being on that gram to get to the 60 grams, the gram a day to get to the 60 grams. So generally, people can overcome cancer, which is what Stan is dealing with in that period of time. But what I've found is that people oftentimes need a little bit more than that, often twice as long. So it can be like 90 grams to 120 grams of actual FECO that they need to take over that time. So anywhere from one of the full kits, the 60-gram kits, to 2 of them. And there are some outliers that need a little bit more, but roughly like about, I'd say 80 to 90% of the people will do between 1 kit and 2 kits, and you don't have to get them all at once. It might be 60 grams that this person does, 90 grams that this person does, 120 grams that this person does, but within that range. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Stan's last question is, how long should I stay on the gram a day Rick Simpson protocol, and how do I know when to stop?
Okay, so that's a great question as well. So you, like you mentioned in the previous question, you work up to the gram a day, and the general Rick Simpson protocol is 60 grams. But you take it until you have overcome the situation, basically. So a lot of people will say, okay, I'm doing that 60 grams, and then I'm just going to taper off into a maintenance phase. And what if you haven't overcome the actual condition, in this case, cancer, then if you go into a maintenance phase too soon, then you will never overcome it, and you'll just like slow down its progression, but it will still progress, and you'll get what the end result of cancer, which is for most people death, and or just be uncomfortable for the rest of your life, basically. So in order to actually overcome the situation, like get your body healthy enough to beat whatever's going on inside of you, then you need to do it for the length of time until you're actually better, right? And then which goes to the latter part of Stan's question, which was, how do I know when to stop? So when you're actually better, and then you go about, I would say, at least a couple weeks to a month after that. Okay. And, just to make sure everything's the way it is and there's no quick relapses. And then you go into a maintenance phase after that. And that's why it's important to talk with a cannabis caregiver such as myself when you're going through this. So you, go through it, long enough to actually get the beneficial result that you're looking for, and then taper down into a beneficial maintenance phase that is going to keep the results that you got. Right? Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And I now, after Stan's great questions, it made me think of 2 questions to ask you as well.
Awesome.
How do you know when the FECO is working?
Okay, so I get that question all the time. How do I know when it's working? And you'll know it's working by the way you feel and through tests. Okay, so like usually when people come to me, they've tried a bunch of other stuff and they don't feel very well. Especially if they have something like cancer or heart disease or whatever. So you're feeling really bad, you're going to start to feel better. They're just like when you feel better, so you'll actually feel better. And then on tests that you do from the doctors, whether they're scans or blood tests or whatever they may be, and whether it's for blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, etc., the tests will come back better. Like the doctor will see improvement and actually tell you that you are improving. I mean, it's literally not like a guessing game or the speculative stuff. It's you actually do get better, and it's shown through tests.
Excellent. How soon will the FECO start working?
All right, so that's another great question, Meghan. So people, and it goes along with your other question, right? Like how do I know when it's working? And how long will it take for that to happen? So there are some people that it works right away, like within 15 to 45 minutes, however long it takes for that first dose to kick in. Like they get like results right away. And especially people that have like pain kind of conditions and neuropathies and anxiety, stress, depression, all that kind of stuff. I've seen like literally thousands of people take it at shows over the years of doing these shows and come back and buy it because it worked instantly on them, right? And then others, it could take that, like 2 weeks, etc., to work. But usually within the first 1 to 3 days, about, I would say probably 80% of people, and then there's about 15% of people that take about a week, and then maybe 5%, that remaining 5%, take up to that 2 weeks. The longest I've ever had anybody say, that it took was 15 days.
15 days.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. All right. Our next
Awesome.
question is from Millaville 5100, and it's a 2-part question for you, Al. First part: does it have to be indica? Does the FECO have to be indica?
Okay, so that's another great question. So I always say that it's a indica strains that we use over here, and there's a specific reason for that. So it should be indica for sure, especially if we're trying to overcome the condition. One of the reasons is that it's very sedative, helps you get into deep sleep and want to rest. Sit on the couch. They call it couch lock, where you just you're watching TV, you don't want to get up and do anything. You're just like, ah. So that resting and that being in those moments allow massive amounts of healing to happen, and
Right.
people have usually massive conditions that come to me. So they need that to happen in order to heal, and overcome their situation. The sativa strains, so there's indica strain, sativa strain. The sativa strains, they help for people that take that. It's more with people that are artists and and creative and like writers and things like that.
Right.
So it gets you thinking. And a lot of people that start taking RSO, they've never been high in their lives. A lot of people, and they don't understand what a high is. And when they take the sativa, it makes them their mind race instead of going into like deep thinking. They get scared because they don't know what to expect, and it makes their mind race. It gets them scared, and it makes them quit, and that's not good.
Right.
And then also on a more serious end, for people that have conditions like dementia, and for especially the children that have autism, but the children and adults that have autism, it'll make the condition worse. I've seen it, in the early days, because we didn't know, and so we had to test things out on people. And even my girlfriend's mother, she was going through dementia, and she lived with us, and so we experimented, on different things until we found something that worked for her. And one time, I got a batch of RSO from a woman, who cured her brain cancer and helps hundreds of people herself. She gave me a batch, because I was out, and we needed some for my girlfriend's mother.
Yes.
And I didn't know, but it was a sativa strain batch. And we gave it to her, and she just went into violent outbursts, and it was crazy. Like she had a really rough time, and it wasn't good for anybody in the house. So you need to, in my eyes, really make sure that it's an indica strain, especially if you're new to it, and especially if you're trying to deal with conditions that have a mental aspect to them as well, but for sure, if you need massive healing to go on, it definitely needs to be an indica strain. And everything that we put out over here is indica strain, and that's all I've really taken from RSO myself personally.
Okay, thank you. Milo's second question is, can I use hydro, or what is the best environment or process when growing flower for extraction into FECO?
Okay, so that's a really, really great question. And to answer the first, that little part of that thing is, can I use hydro? And yes, you can. We've used it, plenty of times. And it's just a technique for growing for indoor, and it grows really awesome bud, and flower, etc. for smoking. The best environment though is actually sun grown in the ground, or at least in soil with living microorganisms in that soil. Okay, but harnessing the energy from the sun is always more optimal than indoor lighting. So the indoor grows, especially with the some of the contaminants in the air, can be and are beneficial. And we use some really good material from hydro, but the indoor grows, we prefer to be in soil as well. It's harder, and you don't typically get as much of a yield. If you know what you're doing, you do, but growers typically don't get as much of a yield. But because with hydro, sometimes people will use more chemicals and stuff like that, and with soil you could do totally organic, biodynamic, etc. So that's the proper environment, is to be in soil and going beyond organic in a biodynamic environment. And that means that you're not only just not using pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides, but you actually have living microorganisms in the soil, like almost like gut bacteria that you have, that there's bacteria that lives in the soil that breaks down different nutrients so the plant could uptake it, right? And then there's other coexisting organisms as well, such as like different kinds of worms and different things that could exist in the soil that actually help to break down other things and feed the microorganisms as well. And it's just this ecosystem that produces this ultra nutritious plant. And then also, just as a side note, the the light from the sun provides photosynthesis. which actually, when the plants uptake the minerals, allows them to digest them properly, so that we as humans can uptake them and get the full benefit from them. And then the sun also has chlorophyll in it, and that's basically the sun's, or not chlorophyll in it, but the plants harness the sun's energy, by taking it in and create this stuff inside of them called chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is plant blood, basically. It's the plant's blood, and it's super dark green, and it literally is the sun's energy harnessed in a form that we as humans could ingest it from the plant and utilize it for good. And that's one of the reasons that the RSO is so beneficial, because most cannabis oils do not have chlorophyll in them because it does not look pretty. It's what gives it that dark color. That ultra makes it look almost black. It's super dark green though. It's not black. But the light, everybody loves the lighter oils, and those are better for vaping. But that chlorophyll is one of the nutrients, in addition to the cannabinoids, that gives the RSO its magic. And so many people try to steer away from it. That was just a little side note for that question. Does that all make sense though?
Perfect sense. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We have our next question from Robert Burns 2223. And okay. Robert says, "Aloha. I looked on your webpage, but could not find the Rick Simpson oil in the syringes. Where can I purchase the FECO on your website?"
Okay. All right. So that's actually a question we get a lot too. And there's a couple of reasons for it, but let me pull up the website real quick just to show what's available on the website. Okay. All right. So add the stage. Can you see that, Megan?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So we have CBD and the CBD FECO on the website. And in order to get the THC FECO, you have to actually reach out to us over here and set a consultation, and then we'll get you the THC FECO, okay, the high THC FECO, and you do that through setting a consultation. And there's a consultation tab up here in the menu bar, the third menu item over, and it brings up the calendar, and you just click on the day, and it pulls up the different times that are available, and you click on one, and then just put your information in and say if it's a RSO protocol discovery call, or a 21-day reset, which is our detox program discovery call, or a CBD product discovery call. Okay, so either one of those, and so we'll know what's going on, and then we just get you set with answer any questions about which product is best for your situation, and then get you going with the products, and with your protocols. So the cool thing about doing a consultation is that we could actually develop a protocol for you to be successful with the product. It'll help you get quicker and better results, if that makes sense.
It does.
And then over here is the products that we have. So like I said, you do the consultation for the high THC FECO, but on the website, if you hover over it, you can see this drop down, the full spectrum CBD over here. That is the CBD FECO. Okay, so every one of those products is derived of CBD FECO, and then we have pure crystalline CBD for people that get tested, and we've never had anybody actually test positive for THC that I know of from taking this full spectrum, but it is possible because there is THC in there. This one is pure CBD, and people with anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, and chronic pain, neuropathies, etc., have great success with this product right here. The other one too, but with this one, the people with cancer, the glaucoma, etc., do not want to take this product right here. Okay, gotcha. And there's different milligram strengths for it, etc., that with the conditions that I just mentioned, people are successful with. Okay, and there's capsules and tinctures. And then if you go to the full spectrum, there's the elixir of the gods is the main thing with the CBD FECO, because that's 10 grams of the CBD FECO in the bottle, and it is the most cost-effective item, milligram for milligram, right? For sure. And like the base price of it is $50 a gram, for the 10 grams. And if you go down like to the 1,000 milligram bottle down here, it's the same exact product. It's a little bit more diluted because of the carrier oil. There's more carrier oil because there's less of it in the bottle. this bottle's bigger over here, but even so, this is 1,000 milligrams. That's 1 gram. It's $89.99. So that's basically $90 a gram. That's $50 a gram over here. You know, it's almost half price. And then if you buy multiple bottles, it goes down even further.
Right.
And right now, in order to do that, you need to do a consultation as well. But it goes down considerably. And then we also give discounts for people that have conditions that need to buy that hardcore amount all at once. Like if you need to buy,
Right.
30, 60 grams at once or something like that, we give, discounts for all that kind of stuff. Because it's it is a big whammy, to have, and then you're going to need to be doing it for the long haul, etc. All right. So we have capsules, we have tinctures for it. What I recommend is if you're like hesitant about trying it, like I just want to, see if it works for me or whatever before I buy, the full protocol or something like that. If you were thinking about getting the full protocol, but you're not sure if it's going to work for you, you can either get this 10-gram bottle right here, and by the time you're done with that bottle, for sure you'll know if it's for you. And then the other option that I would do if it was me and knowing what I do, but I was a client, and I had to buy it from somebody else, I would buy this 4,000 milligram, because this is a smaller bottle. It's the same size bottle as these, but it has 4,000 instead of 2,000 or 1,000. So it's almost the same, like consistency as this one. They're super concentrated, so it's almost the same concentration as this one. And I have seen like people get results like when they were taking this 2,000 milligram, for instance, and they were doing like 200 milligrams a day, and they should be getting results from that. Like they might have had like anxiety or something, and they weren't getting the results they should off of the 200 milligrams. Switch into the elixir of the gods, and then doing the same exact milligram strength, they got better results and they were fine there. And I believe it's because it's so much more highly concentrated, but it's still in a minute amount of the carrier oil, because the carrier oil does have a benefit, but there's diminishing returns kind of a thing, and I think that the elixir of the gods, this 10,000 milligram in this 50 ml bottle, and the 4,000 milligram and the 30 ml bottle, they hit a sweet spot of where it gets it even blows the doors off of these two, even though it's the same exact stuff, So it was that. So that's another thing, is where it's not just the product, like from soil to oil, seed, plant, veg, flower, harvest, dry, cure, extract, formulation, but it's also knowing, which one to get and then how to take it, to get the beneficial results. And that's what we offer. We offer all of that, where other people just offer the product,
right?
And good luck,
right?
So that and that's why we are who we are, basically.
Exactly.
So, does that answer the question, though?
Perfectly, Al. And I just want to say too, if you're watching this and you're curious, the free consultation, Al will break things down and help you understand what you would need to have success. And then, again, health is wealth. And I find that everyone that has joined and is a client is a consistent client. They don't go after that. You know what I mean? It's like you realize that your body does need this amazing plant, and Al goes above and beyond to ensure that you get the best of the best. Al, is there anything else you want to say? Otherwise, I want to just make sure that everyone knows that if you have questions, please comment below or contact us so that we can get your questions answered by Al directly. Al?
Yeah, just feed off what Meghan said, that's actually one of our taglines: knowledge is power and health is wealth. And to be successful, you need to follow a certain plan as well, and not jump around. I see a lot of people saying that they want to explore all avenues, and I want to do this person's thing and this person's thing, and chemo and this and that all at once, and they want to just do little portions of it, though. Like they'll come to me and they'll do a portion of what I'm offering them, and then they'll go to this protocol over here and they'll do whatever they like out of that one. And that's not how you get success. You get success by following a plan. and starting it, being patient, persistent, and consistent with your efforts, and taking it all the way to completion and crossing that finish line. Those are the people that are successful, not the ones that just jump from one, from one thing to another, basically. Like as soon as things start to get hard, or just like I mentioned at the beginning, just just cherry pick different things from all these different protocols, thinking that if they do that, I'm doing good things from 5 different protocols. I'm going to get better results than just following a plan from the one protocol. And that's not the case. Follow the plan from the one protocol and you'll get better results every single time. Does that make sense?
It's perfect sense, Al. And that's all from me on my end and all of our questions. I'm excited for the next bunch of questions. Do you have anything else?
That's it. Other than I love answering these questions for you guys, and just keep them coming. So that concludes this episode of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. Be sure to leave any questions or comments below and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this type of content. Reach out to support at myfitlife.net or schedule a complimentary call if you have questions about our RSO or FECO, how to take it, or where to get it. This is Al Morenton.
I'm Meghan Hall.
And we are the hosts of Cannabis Friends and 420 Buds. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.